Welcome to This is Football Tiff Tuesdays. I'm here with Socio. We're back with you guys. Socio, bro, how was your weekend, man?
I had a great weekend, my brother. Me recuperé. Eso sí, Saturday was hard, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Holy
bro, we
sh!
had a nice. We kicked
Took
off
a
the
week
weekend nice,
off, and
man.
oh my god,
We kicked off the weekend nice. A little footy on Saturday
yo,
morning.
beautiful. Hey, what a session we had. Pure ballers, bro. Pure ballers.
It
That's
was
exactly
great,
what I
man.
wanted out of this whole Chayanne experience, bro. Shout out to Amparito y El Gordo. Chayo, I
Absolutely, man.
love you, my brother. We're still doing it for you.
Absolutely. So, bro, like you said, it was a fantastic weekend. Unfortunately, Inter Miami lost, but we're not going to talk about that on this show. This is a special edition show. We have some special guests that we're going to bring on in a couple seconds. And I know I've been promoting it, all day, all over our accounts, yesterday, today. But we have the boys from Cabra Sports, and more specifically, they host the Fútbol Asada podcast. Chris and Javi, we're going to bring them on here in a second. Welcome, boys. Welcome
Yo,
to
yo,
This is
yo.
Football.
Hey,
Yo,
my
What's
yo,
good,
sons,
yo.
guys?
welcome,
Thanks for having us.
welcome,
Absolutely.
hijos.
So the point of this really of this podcast, we have our compadres here, Javi and Chris and their podcast, and I'll let you guys go at it in a second. But your podcast is mainly about Liga MX and the Mexican national team, and you'd like to inform everybody on that. Our podcast is mostly on world football, but just for today, Socio and me are gonna rep the U.S. hard, and we're gonna have a USA Mexico battle out here. MLS, Liga MX, USA Mexico. But we'll let our followers hear a little bit from you guys. Tell us a little bit about your show and what you guys do, man.
You want to go first, Chris, or I'll start?
Oh, handle, go for it.
Yeah, so Chris and I have been at this for a while now. We started Football Asada back in I want to say early September last year. We just really love football, specifically Mexican football. And yeah, Chris and I have been following the selección for as a team together since March of last year. We were at the Estadio Azteca for Mexico USA and Mexico El Salvador, our last two World Cup qualifying games in the Azteca. And then we followed El Tri all the way to Qatar. We were out there in November following that disaster class. And yeah, well, we decided why not make a show about it. So yeah, now we're here. So thank you guys for having us on. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything.
I obviously, me and Javi share a love for La Selección, and I've been watching La Selección for over 20 years, and Liga
Long
MX as
time.
well. So talking
Yeah.
about them all day on a podcast is like amazing. Just can't get enough of it.
I will say
You get to release all your emotions. When you're happy, you can say it. When you're pissed off, you can, go off. And that's what we do.
Absolutely. So on our side, I mean, Socio can tell you, we all our guys, we all met playing soccer. Beautiful game. We have a mix of Uruguayans and Argentinians, but we all live here in Miami, and we follow Inter Miami. And also, like we said, all world football, and we're glad to have you guys on because this is a podcast that's been in the making, man. There's always been USA and Mexico, some sort of hatred, and from the 2-0 to the dominance back in the day of Mexico over the US. But this is a podcast always in the making. So what do you guys say? We get right into it. We get right into USA Mexico, and really, I want to say the last few years it's been all USA. What do you guys have to say about that? It's really been all USA. The stats say Mexico hasn't beat USA in 3 years. I think the last win was a 3-0 win. But other than that, it's been USA all the way. So what do the Mexicans have to say about that?
To be honest with you, I mean, I don't know that this might start off controversial, but I personally don't think the U.S. is that good. But that worries me even more.
We're not that good. Para.
No, watch. Like, I don't think the U.S. is that good, but that just shows you how down bad Mexico is. Because I don't think the U.S. is a tier 1 team. I think they're more like a round of 16 exit, which that's what they did at the World Cup. And
Oh yeah,
I think that's just their level. Like I've seen Mexico be that level my whole life up until this World Cup. They've pretty much been around that like 12 to like 20 ranked range around those teams. And I think the U.S. that's what they are right now too. And the fact that we can't beat them, I don't really see it as, oh my God, the U.S. has just been so amazing. I see it more as Mexico's just in the mud, and all their mistakes that they've been doing for decades and all this corruption that's been going on for decades is finally catching up to them. And now we're not just losing to the U.S. But 2 years ago
you guys are getting owned. You guys are getting owned.
Like 2 years ago, we were like losing. Already, bro.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I had to.
All right. So like 2 years ago, we were losing, but like it was in overtime or penalties or whatever, last minute goals. But now we're getting our fucking ass kicked. Now we're losing 3-0, and now it's like hopefully, I mean, I don't know if it will. I highly doubt it, but hopefully it inspires change. I mean, I already changed the coach. Like within 2 days, we fired Diego Coca. So I hope this like lights a fire under like the federation's ass and just like pushes for change that have needed to happen for decades.
Yeah, no,
it's from the top, dog. It's not 100%. Only the coaching and shit. That whole mentality, eso tienen que, with mad respect, bajarse de esa nube, porque you guys for a hot minute thought que, somos la última Coca-Cola del desierto and shit, and nah, dog, you need to. People are catching up, same as us. Don't get me wrong. In our little division, it's us and you. Ya, no le busque nada más.
Right.
We're trying to fight to compete with the South American teams, the European teams, y eso. Pero yeah, dog, you guys are trash, bro. You guys are going downhill quick, bro. Quick.
That's rough,
I think
it's not even fun to watch a clásico anymore.
What a nice
welcome, before the only thing was la pelea was the fight. The fight was rowdy. Back then we used to get fights when football. Now I don't know, dog. I don't know.
I think you also. I think just taking a quick snapshot of the rivalry in this specific moment. I think a lot of us are so hyper focused on it now. You know, with the era of Christian Pulisic and the era of Chucky Lozano and all these stars coming into play. I think people sometimes se nos olvida que a veces el fútbol es de etapas, and there was a moment where Mexico was hitting them hard. And there's a moment where the USA just has better players. And honestly, I think for me, it's not hard to gauge. Mexico's team this era, whatever you want to call it, hasn't been good. There's not been anyone to step up. Antes teníamos a un Andrés Guardado, HH when he was amazing. We had Miguel Ayun, Paul Aguilar, Rafa Marquez. I mean, you name it. Those players were huevos.
And you're only talking about
to kind of gauge what era you guys are from. Javi, Chris, how old are you guys?
I'm 22.
22. Okay. Oh, okay.
And I'm a little older. I'm 27.
Okay.
I was gonna say because you name players of maybe like the last 2 decades or whatever. Because I mean, I
pensando way back in the day.
Like, Cuauhtémoc, exactly. Luis Garcia. Jorge Campos en el arco. I mean, no. I mean, Mexico back in the day had a team, and they competed with the South American teams. But I think over the years, the U.S. has just learned to catch up, and really, I think it's come down to the leagues, the domestic leagues. You've seen Liga MX maybe over the last 10 years not be at that same level. I don't think maybe there's one team in Liga MX right now that can compete in Copa Libertadores. Whereas before,
I don't know about that.
You had two teams that they were always no.
No, I don't know about that. But not even the last time we were there. Didn't Tigres make the final? And they were robbed.
That was what 2017. That was what 2017.
Yeah, that was the last time we were there. We made the final.
Yeah, but it's gone down since then. I mean, Tigres just had a tough time in the CONCACAF Champions League, and the MLS is catching up. I mean, last year Seattle won the CONCACAF Champions League. This year LAFC made it to the end. So I mean, there's been, and I think that's where, you know, in the root of it, I think that's where it is in the domestic leagues. You've seen MLS take a huge jump, whereas Liga MX has kind of stalled in their progression.
Here's my thing with MLS, and I'm actually I have the Mexico jersey on. My dad's from León, Guanajuato, so I'm a León fan. And then, but I live in LA, so I go for the Galaxy. I don't do any of that LAFC stuff. But I will say this about MLS: I think it has grown exponentially in terms of viewership and fan, but I say personally, in terms of the level itself, it's not there. Like
I agree.
I
I
see
agree with
like right, Lionel Messi is coming to you guys right now. That's huge. That's insane. If Lionel Messi was at the Galaxy, my brains would be blowing out of my head. But like,
he's gonna flop here, by the way. They don't give out free penalties here in MLS.
And
good shit, Chris. Say it out loud, dog.
No, for real.
Let me say this. And I said this the minute Fabricio announced Messi was coming here. This is Messi and this is the rest of Inter Miami down here. All due respect, guys, but you guys are sitting at the bottom of the league right now. And I don't even it's not just the Inter Miami thing. It's a FC Cincinnati thing. It's a Nashville thing. Like, I don't see a Nashville or Cincinnati or Sporting Kansas City competing with Tigres, with America, with
right. But
I mean, you just saw,
you're saying the MLS is top heavy.
But here's the thing, though. You just saw LAFC. I know it's just like you can't really judge off 2 games, but they're the best team in the league. They lost to León, who didn't even make the Liguilla this season in the final.
No, I get it, but I think both leagues are top heavy. I mean, you have in Mexico, you have your 2, 3, 4 teams who are repetitively in the finals, in the playoffs, and all that, which is Tigres, which is you had Santos Laguna, Pachuca was at one point, Cruz Azul was big at one point, and now they've dropped down. So you have all these teams which are very top heavy. You don't hear a lot about those, the lower teams. Like, whatever happened to Morelia? I haven't heard about them, and it's very 100%. Very similar to like the MLS. The MLS, you're very top heavy, where you have LAFC, you have, those teams in the bigger markets where, LAFC, LA Galaxy, you might have 1 or 2 other teams, Seattle, which are big, and the rest is very low, just like Liga MX. So when you're really talking about those top teams, who has it better? You guys are saying Liga MX. I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying I'd love to see that in a tournament, like a real tournament, like a round robin.
No, we're gonna have it now. We're gonna have it soon.
No. But this is the Leagues Cup is to sell tickets. I'm talking about. I'd love to have the top 3 MLS teams and the top 3 Liga MX teams in un hexagonal, and everybody plays everybody, and then you like kind of like something like that where it's interesting.
Sounds like a super league.
But you were saying, you feel like the reason the U.S. is passing Mexico is the leagues. I think you're right, but I think of it for a different reason. I don't think it's because of the quality of the leagues. I think, I don't think it's the quality of the Liga MX or MLS. I see it more how they operate, because MLS, like, they'll ship the guys to Europe like that, like it's nothing. Like a guy will make 5 appearances, or he'll be in the USL, or he'll be in the academy team, and they'll still ship him off to Europe, like decent leagues or developmental leagues. Mm-hmm. Liga MX, we're over here fucking. We can't debut him until he's 25 because he's too inexperienced and shit. And like we just kill all our youth all the time.
And then overvaluing them too. Overvaluing. You want mad bread from the European team. Querés 11 millones for un peladito de 19, 20 años. Like, dog, put your price tag down.
Here's the thing. Watch. Here's the thing. We have a problem with playing our young players. Like, we don't ever play them. We'll go out of our way to go buy like an extranjero from like. Who's can't even cut it in like the Uruguayan league, and we'll bring them over here, pay them millions of dollars instead of like giving an academy player a chance. And then, but the ones that are lucky enough to like actually break through the first team, we fucking price them like at 15 million when like a European team can get like 3 Uruguayans.
The same guy,
like
the same guy with a Belgian passport, a European passport for 2-3 mil.
Right. Exactly.
You guys are killing the kids. You're not letting them play, and you're not letting them go to grow.
Exactly.
You're not gonna.
Although I will tell you this, I did read a report today, apparently just now from Michele from Univision, and he was talking about apparently Brandon Vasquez had everything agreed to go to Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Cincinnati said no. So it's like crazy. It's like dude, and he wanted to go, and it's like, dude, he just scored the other day. And he's probably going to start the next USA game. And and I tweeted, you're basically stunting the kid's growth and stunting the national team by doing that, because he's going to get like such good practice and such good experience out there that he's not going to get playing for Cincinnati.
And here's the thing. Here's the funniest thing about all this is that the owners think they're like, oh no, we want more money, but they're like, they would get more money if they would just like take sacrifices now.
Right.
Because like we're not like the U.S. or Mexico is not a proven market like Brazil. Like Real Madrid, they'll go out of their way to pay 50 million for Brazilian because I'm like, oh well, Brazilians are proven. Like we'll do that. But like when MLS and Liga MX teams want to price them like if they were like Argentinians and Brazilians and Uruguayans, and it's like we're not a proven market, bro. Like we need to sell cheap now, and then once they do good in Europe, once we have enough guys doing good in Europe, then you're a proven market. Then you can up your price, and then you're gonna start making more money. But they do it the opposite way. They want money now instead of like an investment in the future. That's the problem.
Well, the other reason is that in Mexico they do have the money to pay these players. So a lot of these players, and this is a conversation I was having with some former players that played in the Mexican league. And they were telling me, look, it's tough to, I'm used to having my asados every Sunday, with my family at my house. I'm used to, doing this, doing that. And if I'm going to get paid the same or just a little bit less than what a club is going to pay me, in Europe, why am I going to go suffer over there, be by myself with nobody when I can have my family here and I'm getting paid here? So that's also the mentality of the player in Mexico thinking that way. So, I mean, it's both the club and the player. So, I mean,
the players definitely have I think blame as well, but
I think it wouldn't be as much of a problem if you didn't have players like Nahuel Pan or I don't know, any other random extranjero,
it's not even just extranjeros though, bro. Like
no, but it's like
there's old Mexican players that suck ass and have been sucking ass for like years. And they don't belong in the league anymore.
But like, look for example, like MLS has like Thiago Almada, and sometimes they have like a Diego Rossi at some point with LAFC who ended up going to Galatasaray. Was it Galatasaray? Yes.
No, to Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce, yeah. So, those are like the quality players that should be coming in through the filter because Liga MX can offer them. They don't have a salary cap. They can offer them whatever they want, and in turn they help elevate the league. But if you have like a Nahuel Pan or you have like, I don't know, like old, players, like you said, South American or Mexican who are not filling in any of those spots, and they're like Querétaro has they field like 3 Mexican players, and those 3 Mexican players, one of them is Pablo Barrera, who's like on the verge of retirement, and it's like, okay, you played these guys, you didn't make Liguilla, you fielded them, you suck. Like, all right, put in the younger guys this season, and then they don't.
Well, but that's the same thing that we talk about here with the MLS is, and that's something that I've been very vocal about with Inter Miami. Like we've been sucking, play the young guys, and they don't do that. They try to find band-aids here and there, and again, that just stunts the growth. Not allowing the young kids to feed into your domestic leagues is what really kills the national team. And that's, like I said, I think that's why the USA has overtaken Mexico. And you guys have basically said it. The players don't want to leave, or the teams don't allow them to leave. And it basically doesn't allow them to get the experience that they need to be able to compete. Yeah. One topic I wanted to get in with you guys, and this is fresh because it's been something that the US has been very good at over the last, I want to say, few months, is flipping players. So there's been a lot of players that have been flipped from, dual nationals. Brandon Vasquez could have went to, Mexico. He chose the U.S. The big one that the U.S. just got was, Flo Balogun could have went to
England.
Yeah, it could have went to England. He chose the U.S. So I mean, I'm curious. Who do you guys think is the better forward now that we know? Santi Jimenez or Balogun?
I was hoping for this question. Go for it. How do you go for it?
I think I'm way too biased to say Balogun, but
all 4 of us are.
I will say, I think you have to look at. I mean, obviously Balogun's had a crazy run with us. I was a Stad. I don't know how to pronounce the. Is it Rhyme
or something? Rhyme. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's Ryan.
Yeah, the French club, and then obviously Santi with Feyenoord was insane. I'd like to put Santi in a top 5 league before we have the debate through and through. But I think the difference between at least Balogun and Santi on the national team level is that Balogun has players, teammates who can feed him the ball where he needs. Gio Reyna, Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, they're all great. Serginho Dest, they're all great at delivering the ball. That's something that neither Jesus Gallardo nor Uriel Antuna.
That's the flip side. Balogun was the missing piece we needed.
Yeah,
Santi
100%.
todavía le faltan las piezas.
Es
You
Santi
get
y
me?
10 más, la
But
verdad.
Flo, Balogun came into the perfect system, dog. We needed a 9. Man, como ese que te la aguante, can turn and shoot y eso. Because, yeah, you have Pulisic coming in, El Reina cuando quiere juega coming in. Weas, I've been said he's going to be a baller, bro. Although I don't initially
Tim
don't like
Weah.
the move to Juventus, pero vamos a ver. Ojalá le vaya bien.
I'll get into Tim Weah in a bit, but but as far as the Santi versus Balogun, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought the U.S. fans had overhyped Balogun because, like, let's be honest, everyone thought he was playing for England, and right. So like, I highly doubt people were going week in week out watching him. They were already calling him the best player in CONCACAF without even watching him. So for me, he got hella hype, right? But so like, I was kind of like I hadn't really watched him play, but then after what I've seen like in the Nations League, he's like he's good. Like I'm not gonna lie, he's good.
He's different gravy, dog. He's nice, man.
But the thing is, I don't think it's like I'll give it to you right now. I think Flo is probably the slightly better player, but I don't think it's by that much though, because people say
Hey,
oh
no, yeah, no,
like
no,
people are
I
like oh
agree.
Santi hasn't scored in the top 5 league, but like let's be honest, like let's not group the top 5 together. Like the French league is 5th, so you're not top 5, you're 5th. Like it's not like don't try to group yourself with the Premier League or the Bundesliga and La Liga. Like you're 5th,
Yeah,
and the Eredivisie is like right there, like 6th or 7th.
Right.
Next to the Portuguese league or Brazilian league, I don't know, right? And they scored. I think Santi might have scored 2 more goals in all comps this season than Flo. I think it was 25 to 23, something along those lines.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of a trap question. That was kind of a trap. You know, I just wanted to see where you guys are gonna go with that. But
We're biased, but not that biased.
No, but like I think Santi can cut it like in a specifically good like
100%.
system and a good top 5 league. Like
That's what he has,
Feyenoord's a
right?
good team. They're not just like they're the
Yeah.
Dutch league. They could no way they can play against a Premier League team. They're better than like most of the not most, but like at least a decent amount of Prem teams or Bundesliga teams. Like they made it to the Europa League quarters.
yeah,
Santi Jimenez scored 3 times in the Europa League against Lazio, who finished 2nd in the Serie A. So, like, I think he's proven. I just think right now there's a little bit of recency bias because Flo scored, he won a trophy. Santi Jimenez didn't really do anything in the Nations League,
right.
and Mexico's just in the mud right now. So, but I still believe in him. I watched almost every single Feyenoord game this season because I was like the most excited to watch him in particular.
Mhm.
So I think he has the full package, but we have to wait and see. Like right now, I'll give the slight edge to Flo. Right now.
The flow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the 3 of you. I think Flo, you know, has the edge, but only because, like Socio said, he kind of just fit right into the system as far as the national team. And then, yeah, he's gotten the chance at a big 5, but like you said, it's not really a big 5. The French league is just 2 teams at the end of the day, sometimes 3. And it is what it is. So I would like to see Santi Jimenez in a big 5. I would love to see Santi Jimenez play in the Spanish league or the Italian league. Both of those leagues, I think he would fit very well in. And I'm just curious, to see, how he would do because, Flo's done well, but he's done well with un cuadro chico in France, not a big team. So, does he get a chance to step up? And so I think that's going to gauge to see, the Flo Santi talk is going to, where do they go at the end of the day and how do they do? And right now, I think Flo has everything set up on the national team to shine, whereas Santi still, like, Socio said, Santi still needs the help. But hopefully Mexico gets the help because at the end of the day, when Mexico is good, it's good for FIFA and it's good for CONCACAF. And really, it's good for the rivalry. It's much more fun when Mexico is good. I mean, don't you guys agree?
Yeah, I think
100%.
yeah, it is. I think going back to originally what you had talked about, Danny, was about the pulling power that the USA has. I think they do. I think the pulling power that the USA has now in terms of dual nats is strictly the project. I mean, they see players like Pulisic and Balogun or now Balogun, Musa. I think Alvaro
Musa
in the comments
started
had talked about Musa was huge for the USA as well. And like these Duna Pepe who came in, they saw the project. I think what Mexico has and will always have over the USA is the culture. And if Mexico can build a project that's decent, I think Mexico will always have the edge when at least it comes to culture, because you're a star. It doesn't matter in Mexico. It doesn't matter if you're in the
Yeah.
USA or you're playing in Mexico. You're a star, and that's something that I don't think the USA has, just because of where soccer still is currently within the country. Like, you still have NFL, baseball, basketball, yada yada.
Yeah, I completely agree. Big but, and that's gonna bring us into our next topic. Um, you did say that, that the culture, yes, the culture is not there, but look, the MLS did attract the number one player maybe in the history of the sport, in the in Lionel Messi. And so he's the face of the MLS. And I would argue that Pierre Gignac is the face of Liga MX.
Yeah.
You would put those, those against each other, and obviously, Messi takes the cake on that one. But you know, Gignac had some interesting comments to say about the MLS. Last week. You guys want to maybe comment on that, or
That was pure marketing.
Look, I don't know how MLS is going to beat the retirement league allegations. Like, all right, I'll buy you that a 35-year-old Messi is still somewhat fresh off a World Cup win, is a World Cup title, is still somewhat, it's still relevant in the football world. He can still bring something to the league. But then Miami comes and signs Sergio Busquets like today, and that guy has been looking to retire for a while. And then on the
Hold
other
on.
side,
Let me stop you right there. I don't know if you watched Barca last year, all right? I don't know if you watched Barca, but Busquets at his 35, 36 years old, he's still running, he's still balling in the MLS with his long legs. That guy's gonna be a cheetah in the midfield. I mean, I think he is the missing piece to what Inter Miami has needed. If you really want, I mean, and I didn't really want to get into Inter Miami and all that talk, but I don't think it's a retirement league anymore. Look at Toronto. Toronto brought two Italians in their prime last year, Bernardeschi and Insigne. They brought them both in their prime. I mean, look at before then. Jovinko came in his prime. So players that are coming in their
Yeah, but
prime.
that's a handful of examples. I don't know. I still think it's his.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
because you could also argue, but look at LAFC's case. They brought in Chiellini, who's like doesn't ever play, and then they brought in Gareth Bale, who literally retired.
Well, Gareth
So there
Bale,
you go. It's a
Gareth Bale
handful
only
of.
went to play golf in LA. That was the only reason he went. I mean, it was obvious.
Came, got a trophy, and dipped. But
Hey,
I still think it's a bit of a retirement league. Ahora con el enano, things might change in these next 2, 3. I don't think he'll do 3, 2 years. Let's see, Don. Just to come and play.
I think MLS has an opportunity. They have to run with it. If they don't change those roster rules, and they don't take the DP and the TAM and
no, that's not
all
going
that
anywhere
stuff,
soon, Don.
it's not gonna go anywhere, because you're gonna have Messi,
That's
and
not
then
going.
and then you're gonna have like Alan Pulido, or like some random guy from Sporting Kansas
Exactly.
City.
No, yeah.
It's like
Pero
it's
no,
abysmal.
eso no va a cambiar, Don.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I think eventually it will. Once, if more players of his caliber want to start coming, I think eventually you're going to start seeing some side deals or some roster movement changes or something like that. Because if you want to keep up and you actually start attracting, especially now, you see the Saudi league. The Saudi league is attracting like players in their prime. I mean,
But they have infinite money, though. They're playing
Bernardo
FIFA
Silva.
with the on easy mode.
But these owners in the MLS have infinite money too. They just don't want to share it. That's the problem.
No.
I mean, yeah, the Saudis have
Nobody
a little bit
has
more
that
money than us.
Saudi money. That
But
Saudi
okay.
money is
But
different,
I get
dog.
it. But I get it. All
You know
right,
what
so go for it. Go for it, Javi.
I was just saying, what I think, there's one thing, and I think people overlook it, that's always going to stand in the way of attracting top level players to MLS. It's just the prestige of European ball. Like you if you're like even you're a young Argentino, you're a young Uruguayan who grew up watching Luis Suarez, Leo Messi, Diego Forlan, Maxi Morales, players who went out there and made a legacy. You're not gonna go and be like, well, oh shit, like I'd rather play the CONCACAF Champions League than the UEFA Champions League.
Than the Europa League at worst,
It's just
or the Conference League.
prestige,
Yeah.
like the culture that Europe has cultivated. It's hard, and even Liga MX or the Libertadores, I think doesn't replicate that to any extent, or at least Libertadores comes a little close.
I mean, I think as far as the drama, Libertadores I think is a little has overtaken the Champions League. The Champions League has gotten
Yeah,
a little dull
I
because it's
agree.
always the same. Although this year was kind of interesting. I mean, I was there. I was lucky to cover it live,
Yeah, that was cool.
and it was pretty crazy. The atmosphere was crazy, um, and Istanbul was a fun city. But I mean, getting back into into the MX and MLS topic, there's been a lot of Mexican players come over and play in the MLS. We haven't seen a lot of the of the opposite. We haven't seen a lot of the American players be signed by Liga MX clubs. Is that because of what you guys were telling me earlier, that the clubs kind of only stick to their own players and they only want like Mexican players? Because I know, for example, Chivas is a team that only allows Mexican national players, or players that only were born in Mexico to play. Correct, but other teams
Yeah,
allow extranjeros.
yeah. I think it's more. I think it's more. Well, I think it's two key factors. One is obviously the standard of living. I think you rather live in like if you're not gonna be living in Guadalajara or like DF or Monterrey, I'm pretty sure you don't want to be living in like Tijuana over San Diego or Tijuana over LA or Tijuana. I would rather live in Chicago, right? Like, so I think that's a part of it, but I think it's also the pressure. Like in Mexico, if you like, you could be great for a whole season. You suck for 2 games, or you make a crucial mistake, you're getting killed in the media.
Bro,
In
Bale said it
MLS,
best recently.
Yeah,
yeah, like
Bell.
in MLS, like I see highlight reels every
Zero
week of
pressure.
like own goals, like defenders passing it back, and that guy's not getting killed on the national media. Like
Nah,
if like
bro.
for instance, like if a quarterback in the NFL throws a game losing interception, he's the face of the NFL for a week. Oh, this guy
Yeah,
choked. This guy choked. In MLS, you can make 20 mistakes and nobody still knows who you are. So I think
And not gonna.
that
yeah,
also could
bro.
be a factor.
Yeah, zero
Yeah.
pressure, bro.
So we actually talked to Greg Garza, who played in Mexico and then played in it for Atlanta United here, and he actually mentioned that, and he said it was like it's crazy. Here, you could have a 6 game losing streak. Yeah, no worries. You can go out on the street. You can go to shopping with your wife and
Tranquilo.
kids, chilling, no
Yep.
problem. You lose 2 games in Mexico, and like you barely make it out of the stadium alive, and that's the biggest thing. So I can understand that, but still, I mean, the money is there. So an American player that maybe can't make the jump to Europe, I think making the jump to go play in Mexico would be better than just staying in the
I mean,
MLS if you've been like an MLS lifer. So
I mean,
I still don't see that.
there's there has been some instances, but I think it's never been like an American like there. It's always like a Joe Coro and Alejandro Sendejas, like players that
Have ties to Mexico. Yeah.
Hercules Gomez, yeah, who we had on the pod, and like it's always like
Well, there was
yeah,
Landon Donovan and Beasley for a little bit.
yeah, but I mean, Landon went to Leon to retire, or I don't know what he actually was retired and then came out of retirement, went to Leon and then retired again. I don't know what that was about. It still like confuses me. And then there was like Josie Altador was there not too long ago. I honestly I don't see why not. That's a good point, Danny. I've never looked at it as like I have seen like Mexicans go to MLS, but I've never been like why don't they grab some Americans and throw them in here as well?
Yeah. I mean,
Good
because
question.
actively right now, like you have like Carlos Vela. I mean, and you have, like I said, all the dual nationals, Brandon
Yeah.
Vasquez and Dejas. I mean, so you have a lot. Hector Herrera is playing here. Like it's interesting that he would come play at Houston and not go back and play, somewhere in Mexico. So I mean, and maybe he will in a couple years and he'll go retire there. But it's just interesting that they would make the jump here and not just go back to there. Because you've seen like a Luis Suarez jump around, in Europe and then go back to Nacional and play there. And not, now he's rumored to come to Inter Miami. We'll see. I don't know. Everybody's rumored to come to Inter Miami now. I'm sure that makes Javi, pissed off, especially since Chicharito just, just tore his ACL and he's out for the year. Poor guy. Something I do want to talk about. I want to talk about Chicharito because Chicharito did make a big impact in the league when he came. Not as big as what Messi's going to make, possibly not as big as what Beckham made, but he did make a big impact on the Mexican community out in LA. Can you talk a little bit about that and about, basically what he meant to the community out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to notice the niches that you have in every city, and you don't need MLS to see that. I mean, Miami has Cubanos and Argentina, a lot of people that come from that area because it's close. It's really close to Central and South America. LA, it's right next. Tijuana's three hours down. I think someone like Chicharito and then even Vela, that came into the scene very early on, like it's hard, and I say this because I have a Mexican dad. It's hard to get Mexicans invested into the MLS. My dad was never going to be interested in watching Landon Donovan and Robbie Keane. But the minute he saw Chicharito versus Vela, it's like, oh, like, okay, that's cool. I want to go see Chicharito and Vela. Like, they were at the 2018 World Cup and they scored like so many goals. Like, I want to go see that. And I think that brought out just people in droves, and not just not just Mexicans, but a lot of people. Chicharito in CONCACAF is a household names. He scored on Honduras, El Salvador, USA. He scored on everybody. So yeah, let's go see what this guy's about. And you'll hear it at Galaxy games. You'll either have people that are like rooting him on, or people that are waiting for every little mistake to just turn around and be like, "See, I told you, this guy sucks." But I think it was great. It's been great having Chicharito here. It's definitely helped Galaxy has been a sinking ship, and Chicharito has definitely been one of the buoys that has kept Galaxy afloat. And then now that he's gone, they're gonna have to find a big replacement, and they're gonna have to find one fast.
I only like Chicharito when he streams. Other than that, no me importa Chicharito.
All right, so let's get into something a little bit more current. Let's get into the Gold Cup. So I have the rosters up here, and I have the rosters for both USA and Mexico.
Man.
So for USA, goalkeepers, we took Sean Johnson, Gaga, who's the young guy, and Matt Turner's our
Mexico
starter.
took it more serious.
Exactly. Mexico took a more serious lineup. Also, I read, Edson Alvarez is finalizing a deal with a club in Europe. So that's fantastic for him. But yeah,
okay, we brought back El Muerto de Berhalter, dog. Como lo odio el calvo ese, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Zero tactic, el bruto ese, and they brought him back. We hired a consulting agency to bring him fucking back. Some unos muertos, dog.
So I mean,
but yeah, bro.
Putting up these rosters,
Mexico's
I mean,
stacked.
You go name for name, and I mean, Mexico should cruise to the finals, should cruise to victory in the Gold Cup.
Should we? Pero still, dog. Mexico's stuck. Now that I'm looking at the roster.
The thing is, though, like for me, and people are gonna be saying I'm being negative. For me, it doesn't mean anything. Like, because the U.S. is not bringing their best team. Canada brought their best team minus their best four players. So
like a couple minutes ago.
Like everyone knows going into this tournament, Mexico's the best, and if they win it, well then it's like, well, you just did.
If you guys win it, you guys know how the media is gonna be. Mexico's back,
Oh yeah,
and I think it's gonna do like a false little glimmer, Pero but you guys are stacked for this Gold Cup.
I say it's a step up. It definitely is a step up because, like, last year we lost. Tata Martino got us all the way to the final. Your guys' new head coach, by the way, got us to the final and then choked. Yeah. So it is a step. It is a step back, a step forward into regaining the.
Here's the thing though that I was saying. It's like we already know, like whether Mexico wins it or doesn't, we already know this squad that they have in the tournament is the best one. Like, so if they win it, great. We can celebrate for a day, and then the media can overhype it, and fans can get all happy, and we beat USA's C team. Like, great. Yeah. Or whoever. If we even win it, I'm not even saying we're gonna win it. But the thing is, like, for the tournaments like this, where like everybody's kind of bringing a lower like team, like why don't we do that? Like, why do we need like Henry Martin and even Memo Ochoa? Like Memo Ochoa, like great, we know you're the best one,
bro. Like, let him rest.
Like we have so many guys that like at the next World Cup are going to be like well into their 30s that like you're not even going to be important by then. Like, why aren't we giving like these type of tournaments to players that are actually going to be like,
on the way out,
like in the like part of like the 2026 and 2030 cycle? Like, why don't we give minutes to them? Like, even if we lose, and like it's still valuable experience. I rather lose with like a U23 team. I rather lose. But like they gave it their all, and we gave them experience, and they made their mistakes, and
and you get to see a pool, you get to see a bigger pool because you're just seeing the same people over and over.
Exactly. Not only that, you'll get the chance of like one of them breaking out. You never know. Maybe it sparks a move to Europe or something. I have no idea. But like, why are we playing guys that like, all right, yeah, we know they're better, but like they're still like not good, and they're gonna be even older and worse in 4 years. Like, just giving them the experience means
I'll give you the reason why they brought that team, because if they don't win the Gold Cup, I mean, that would be what, 2 Gold Cups and 2 Nations Cups in a row that they don't win, that they lost to potentially the U.S. And
Yeah.
since the U.S. is not a soccer nation and all that, I mean, it looks bad. That's why they had to do it. And I mean, really, the pressure is all on Mexico, which sucks because I mean, as Mexicans, you don't want that knowing that you took the best team. But really, the pressure's all on you guys. If you by the way, speaking of chokers, Canada just or I don't know if you mentioned it, but Canada tied to Guadeloupe 2-2
Was
today.
it 2-2?
Oh,
yeah,
and
what?
they got scored in the last minute?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Canada, okay.
Vamos,
Can I say-
Guadalupe.
And
Yo,
can I say this
Canada's
about
gonna
Canada?
Cuba's
go
tied
bankrupt.
right now.
I don't.
I read they have to file for bankruptcy soon.
Yeah, I don't know how Canadians, and specifically on Twitter, were like self-claiming the second best in CONCACAF. Like Canada always ducks. They like when they go up to Mexico, Canada saca el pecho, and then USA comes and they put their head between their legs and they walk away. Canada's not the second best gigante of CONCACAF.
Own goal al minuto 93.
Wow, that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
That's something that the four of us can agree on, right? That that Canada is, them calling themselves the new, the new big club. Like come on,
you're not top 3.
Look, honestly, to me, right now it goes USA, Mexico, and just based on results, and right under them, to me, it would be probably Costa Rica. Or Panama, right? Costa Rica, Panama, something like that. And ojo with Jamaica. Jamaica surprised me the other day.
Bailey's nasty.
They have a few players that are playing in the EPL and they look real good.
Oh,
and a shout out to Haiti, man. Our boy plays on Haiti and they won yesterday 2-1. Our boy nice. Fafa Picot.
Fafa, shout out to you, Fafa.
Shoot, that's
so he plays on Haiti and they won 2-1. So I mean, what do you guys think? Who do you guys think, number one, wins the Gold Cup? And then let's do one with your heart and one with your brain. So with your heart, I know what you're going to say. So with your brain, who wins the Gold Cup?
With my brain. Chris, go first.
Well, with my heart, obviously, I want Mexico to win. But like I said, at the same time, like I said earlier, for me, it's like bittersweet. I know I'm being negative and people are going to be like, oh, like, why don't you just be happy for once? But it's like I said, like it's not going to prove anything if we win it. Exactly. But my mind, I'm not joking you when I say that. I can't fathom like Mexico winning a Gold Cup with Uriel Antuna as our starting right winger, and like Henry Martin starting as striker, and like Luis Romo, Charlie Rodriguez getting minutes. Like, these guys have been awful forever. I can't picture us winning a Gold Cup like that. So I honestly think if a different team is ever going to win it, it's like right now, because the USAC team, Canada, you're not even better than Guadeloupe.
That's a good shout.
I honestly think Jamaica's made it to the final twice recently. Was it 2015 and 2017? I believe they made it the final. Like, this could be their time. Like, they have, I think their whole starting their trio of the attack is all Premier League. It's Antonio, Damari Gray, and
6 Prem players. Leon Bailey, they're rowdy. Jamaica's nice, bro. Jamaica's
my head is telling me it's going to be a new team for the first time. My head is telling me Jamaica. Like, my heart.
I'd be down for the reggae boys.
I'd like that.
I'd be sick.
I like that. Can I throw another name in there just so it's not Jamaica or Mexico?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw Panama. I mean, I think they
that's a shout.
Gave Costa Rica a kind of ass whooping yesterday, and I mean, to me, Costa Rica was the king of Central America. I think it's Panama now. And it's not just Panama's senior team. It's the U23 that want to go play the Maurice Rebello, and even Panama's women's team. They just hit the World Cup for the first time ever. I think Panama as a footballing country is on the rise, and if they can win a Gold Cup this time around, and I think they have the players to do it,
they've also made the final twice. I think in 2005 and then in 2013 maybe. I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But shout out to Roman Torres, big fan of the show and former Inter Miami player.
Come on.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a part of the inaugural team. He played, I think, like 3 or 4 games, got injured, and then we traded him.
What?
That's crazy. So I mean, so for me, for the Gold Cup, honestly, I mean, I think it's Mexico's to lose. In my heart, I'm going for Jamaica, man. I'm going for Jamaica. The reggae boys. It's something exciting. It's something new. Personally, I don't want the U.S. to win because I think what they're doing by not taking their best team to an international tournament is disrespectful to the sport and disrespectful to the other teams.
100%.
So
Nah, tampoco.
so yeah, I'm sorry. That's just the way I see it. If you're gonna take, look, I am with Chris. If you're gonna take players, don't take Cristian Roldan. Don't take these guys who we already know and who are not gonna be part of the team going forward. Don't bring me DeAndre Yedlin. Bring me Shaq Moore. That's playing in Nashville for a team that's playing unbelievable right now, and he's a fantastic right back. Let me see some Shaq Moore. I already know what Yedlin does.
Blame Berhalter.
So that that's my view on that. I saw you point out at me, Javi. I know you like that I said that. I think it's disrespectful that they're not bringing their A team, or if not their A team, at least their young guns or some of the U23s.
Yeah,
some of
like
the U20s.
I'll say this.
Mexico's on suicide watch. You don't want to do that to them. Bring the D team. Yeah, cogela suave, dude.
No, I'll say this for the big team that USA claims to say they are, like I don't think you ever in football have the commodity to say, well, we can leave this trophy just a ver, así si cae, si no cae, pues no. France doesn't do that with Nations League. France doesn't do that with Europa. You don't see like Germany going, maybe we'll try to win the Euros, but if we win the Nations League, it'll be cool. Like, nah, all those guys are pressured week in and week out to win all that. And it beats me why the USA keeps doing that.
I agree, man.
Bill said it best, bro. Not comfortable out here.
Yo, I love that. Oh man.
All right, guys. Honestly, it's been fun with you guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's been 46 minutes. We talked a lot.
I hate that I liked you guys. I wanted to talk shit.
We talked.
You guys are cool people.
We talked a lot about that happens actually. Chris and Javi, Socio, is this the third time that we've had that I tell him, hey, we're gonna have some guests on, and he's like, seriously, man. Oh, we always have to have
Yeah,
then he ends up liking all you guys. So look, bro. Honestly, it's been awesome to have you guys on. If you guys ever want to have us on, we're more than happy to come on and talk about whatever it is. Just so you know, I'm from Uruguay and USA, so there's my two teams.
Well, okay, I had a question because I did see the Uruguay jerseys in the back. So if Uruguay plays USA in the quarterfinals of a World Cup, who are you going for?
Uruguay, 100%. Uruguay, 100%. Yeah, you think the shirt I'm wearing is like red, white, and blue USA? No.
Nacional.
Oh, what? That's hard.
Like I said, I am going. I am on USA side just for today. My heart and my soul is pure Uruguay, and Socio can back me up.
Yeah. So are you USA through and through, or do you have a second?
No, so USA. I was born here, so I'm USA all the way. But my dad's Colombian and my mom's from Honduras.
Oh, bro,
yeah,
I'm Hondureño too. I'm half Qatar.
Yeah, you see, that's what dog, Javi. Shout out to you,
what
boy.
What part?
San Pedro Sula.
Oh, that's where my fam's from, bro. Let's go.
Hey,
oh my God, let's go.
You see, we don't even have guests, bro. We got family on the show, bro. We got family.
That's hard.
That's what's up. Chris, he was?
Both of my parents are from Mexico, but I'm from here. I was born in California. But I've never in my life ever and will never root for the U.S. in football.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
he's
I don't know, bro. It's just like I'm so loyal to like three. I know for me it's just a sport though. It's just a sport. Not like
no. Fair. That's fair, though.
Yeah, like it's just like rivalry. I could never cheer for like the rival, like the direct rival.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right, boys. Hey, it's been a pleasure to have you guys on. Once again, the guys from Cabra Sports. You guys go ahead and plug your stuff, man. Go for it.
Everything.
Chris, you did it earlier, so I'll let you do it again.
All right. Well, you can follow us. You want general, just all Latino like stories from around the world. Like we cover from Liga MX, the stories from MLS, Central America, South America, Latinos abroad. Follow us at Cabra_football on Instagram, and then at Cabra Football on TikTok and on Twitter. And then if you want specifically Liga MX and like Mexican national team, follow us at Fútbol Asada on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, we just opened up a new page for our Central American fans. It's called Cabra Centro. It's blowing up right now. You can follow it on Instagram and TikTok. Twitter coming soon. But yeah, and then hopefully eventually we get like a South American page going too. But
Plug your personal IGs too. We may have some of the Miami hoes in the chat. You never know. I don't know what the status is over there.
Hey, yo.
If you guys want,
I know. I got a girl. I can't do all that.
I know.
I ain't say shit. We'll edit that out.
I know I was civil during this whole thing, but if you want to see me be like,
a
complete troll, and just pissing off US fans, you can follow me on my Twitter at @HattrickChris on Twitter. You probably already seen me. Most of my tweets blow up whenever I'm trolling. Yeah, mostly Tim Weah. You mostly troll Tim Weah and the U.S. team, but
I'm the complete opposite of Chris. I just tweet news and I try to be as courteous and professional as possible. But you guys,
not me, bro, not me.
At off Javi,
got it all.
Javi, yeah. No,
there you go. So we're good, man. You and me, Javi, are kind of like the same, and Chris are kind of like the same.
I can tell Socio got that energy in him, bro. He's ready to fight, man. I like that.
I'm ready to talk shit. I'm telling you, I came here to talk shit, but again, I hate that I liked you guys.
We gotta do this again sometime, boys.
Absolutely, man. But like I said, once again, thank you, boys, for coming on. For This Is Football. This is Danny. We'll see you guys next week.